snake.
Dogs. Dogs are actually more dangerous than these, but yes. So you're going to see venomous snakes. Often we hear snakes referred to as poisonous, right? Everyone's heard that, poisonous snake. So snakes actually aren't poisonous, they're venomous, and there's a difference. So the difference is venomous animals bite or sting their prey using hollow fangs or stingers and inject venom into another animal's bloodstream. With snakes, the purpose is for them to catch their food. So, fangs and stingers, right? Examples of venomous animals: snakes, spiders, bees, scorpions, fangs and stingers, injection. So, poisonous animals. Did everyone get a chance to walk through the herpetarium? It's this nice AC building right here.
Yeah.
You guys see a frogs in there, similar to the one on the billboard? Little colorful frogs. Those are an example of a poisonous animal. So, poison is secreted through the glands of the skin, and it's a defense. So, if an animal eats a poisonous animal, ingests it, gets sick or dies, can never eat another one. We can actually drink snake venom. We don't recommend it though, it breaks down your stomach. So. Anyhow, everything that we have here today is venomous. They have their fangs, they have their venom. We don't alter them in any way, shape, or form. We don't milk them. So I can't have anyone sitting, standing, hanging over a ledge at any point in time. If you drop anything, cell phone, map, water bottle, camera, hat, child, get our attention, and we'll give it back to you for a small fee. Sound good? Yeah. Good? You guys stay out there, we stay in here.
Yeah, I hear it.
All right, so how many
Oh my
are
God.
from Florida?
It's a rattlesnake.
Awesome. So here in the Central Florida area, we have about 40 species of snakes. How many of them are going to be venomous? 7. Very close. In the whole state, we have 6, and then in Central Florida, we have 4. So the 2 that aren't in Central Florida are found on the Florida-Georgia border. You're not going to see them around here. So our 4 local venomous are going to be the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, big snake with a rattle, cottonmouth, also known as water moccasin. Same snake, 2 different names. Eastern coral snake, little red, black, and yellow snake, and then this guy right here, the most common venomous snake in Central Florida. Does everyone recognize him?
That's a pygmy rattle.
Yeah. So why is he called the dusky pygmy rattlesnake? Dusky colored and pygmy. What does pygmy mean?
Small.
Small. This is actually the smallest species of rattlesnake in the entire world found here in Florida. You're looking at about an average size adult male. 18 to 24 inches is what a pygmy rattlesnake is going to be. So, a small venomous snake, what's he going to eat?
Rats.
Small children, obviously. They will eat small rodents, little lizards, but their favorite food is frogs. So, a snake that likes to eat frogs, where are you guys going to see them?
Backyard.
If you live near water, yeah, it's a possibility. Near water, these guys are really common around the St. John's River. That's why they're the most common snake in Central Florida. They're a pretty high density animal. Interesting fact about the dusky pygmy rattlesnake is they're responsible for the most venomous snake bites in the state of Florida. So, is it because it's a big vicious snake clearly wants to chase and eat us? No, people don't see them, but most snake bites are actually people catching and killing the snake. So, putting the snake in, people don't see a snake and go, oh, hey, how's it going? Little pygmy rattlesnake. Someone wants to be the big strong man, go over there, try and catch or kill it. In turn, putting the snake into a defensive position, getting bit. They are responsible for most fatalities, but there's not one recorded, not responsible for most fatalities, snake bites, but there's not one recorded fatality. Small snake, small quantity of venom, designed to kill small prey items. It is medically significant. You need to go to the hospital immediately, but no one's ever died from a pygmy rattlesnake bite.
Their fangs so small they can't really bite through most shoes.
Shoes, probably not, but they're pretty good at getting into flesh and things.
Right. Yeah, but like if you're walking around barefoot, it's probably
Yeah, you don't want to walk around barefoot. I grew up in Florida walking around barefoot catching snakes. I never got bit, but I always watch where I put my hands and feet. And there's been many times I've almost stepped on a pygmy rattlesnake. But if you're wearing shoes, it's not something I ever really worry about. So, all right, you guys ready to see our next animal?
Yes.
Any questions about the pygmy rattlesnake before we move on? No? You want to see a more impressive animal?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's a rabbit.
Yeah, there's somebody making noise there.
All right. So I see a couple new faces walked up since we started. Just to go over this again, guys, all the animals we have here today are venomous, and they're intact. They have their fangs, they have their venom. So just please don't reach over the wall as we walk by. This next one, though, kind of giving himself away. This is another venomous snake you can find right in this area.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just a little bigger, this guy. So does anybody know what this is? Yeah, that's right. This is an eastern diamondback rattlesnake. And when you're looking at this species, you're actually looking at the largest rattlesnake in the whole world. It's pretty cool. Here in Central Florida, we have both ends of the spectrum. The little pygmy we saw, the first snake, he's the smallest in the whole world. And then these guys are the largest. And this is a pretty average size adult. If you were to see one out in the wild, on average, they grow to be about 3.5 to 5 foot nowadays. But they have the ability to grow to be 8 foot 4 inches, was the biggest one ever. Which is a huge venomous snake. The only venomous snake that grows heavier than these guys is the gaboon viper. Now, rattlesnake, what does that mean?
Rattle.
Yeah, it's a snake with a rattle. Why do rattlesnakes have their rattle? Yeah, exactly. That's a warning mechanism. That rattle is to tell you, back up. I don't want to bite you, but if you ignore my rattle, I'm going to bite. Snakes actually don't have ears, so they don't use it for communication or anything like that. That is strictly to not get stepped on. Now, have you ever heard you can tell the age of a rattlesnake by the number of segments on the tail? Yeah, it's a really common misconception. You actually cannot tell the age of the rattlesnake by counting the buttons. The only way to tell the age of a rattlesnake is by actually chopping them in half and counting the rings in the middle, like a trip. I'm just kidding. Please don't chop rattlesnakes. So no, there's no real significance to the number of segments on the rattle. How it works, the whole snake, of course, is covered in scales, and as reptiles grow, they shed their skin. The very tip of a rattlesnake's tail comes to something called a terminal scale, or button, which acts like a little hook. So every time the snake sheds its skin, a little bit of that shed skin gets caught, adding a segment every time they shed. But they break off all the time. All it is dead shed skin, which is made out of keratin, the same thing your hair and fingernails are made out of. So it breaks off all the time. Now, what do you think this snake likes to eat? Yeah. It's a little too small for kids. Yeah, they really love rats and mice, but as they grow, their prey grows. When they're full grown, their favorite food is actually rabbits, which is one of the reasons these animals are so important. Eastern diamondbacks are in real decline in Central Florida. Reason being, they like high, dry habitat, which is where we like to build our homes because they don't flood. And they're in decline because people see the snake and, again, can't leave them alone. And they get killed off really frequently, which is very unfortunate because if it wasn't for animals like rattlesnakes, we'd be overrun with rats and mice. And if you think that's a good thing, look up the bubonic plague. Rodent spread disease. Too many of them is no good. These animals are very, very important. All right, are you guys ready for our last animal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Es uno en una caja.
Better out here.
Voy a sacar foto de mi teléfono, está muy caliente para sacarle foto. Me manda.
All right, so this next animal right here is not one that you can find in Central or South.
Holy freaking moly. It's roll.
This is our West African gaboon viper. Typically, when people see our gaboon viper, first thing they say is, "Oh, he's so fat." We prefer the term big boned, but there's some truth to this. This snake is not how we would see fat. He's got a huge bone structure and a lot of muscle. He's not meant to move fast, he's actually meant to strike really fast. The next thing people notice is that amazing coloration and intricate pattern. He might look bright to us, but where he's found in the forests of Africa, this snake is designed to camouflage perfectly with the forest floor. So while Andrew's walking around, did you guys notice what his head looks like? What does it look like?
Venom. Venom.
What does it look like?
Venom.
Diamond, sort of. Yeah, it's got a big triangular head. I'm looking for one thing. What does it look like? You see on the ground a lot. A dead leaf, right? Yeah, it looks just like a leaf. It's got the stripe to look like the vein of a leaf. At the end of the snout, he's got an upturned snout that's supposed to look like the stem of a leaf. So the gaboon viper is what we call an ambush predator. Essentially translates to lazy. He flicks his tongue, finds a spot with lots of rodents, buries down the leaf litter, leaving just a head exposed to look like a dead leaf, waiting for... She's in go mode. I'm trying to keep it going. Alright, so the gaboon vipers are really awesome snakes, I was saying. This is actually one of my favorite animals we have here at the zoo. Reason being, he holds a lot of titles in the snake world. They have the longest fangs of any venomous snake in the entire world. They've been measured at 2 to 2.5 inches. They also have the highest venom yield, which means when a gaboon viper does bite, he injects more venom than any other snake is capable of doing on the planet. They also have one of the fastest strikes, or the fastest strike of any venomous snake. They can strike upwards of 130 miles per hour. So he's got a big bone structure and a lot of muscle. He's got one unique characteristic that he does that allows him to strike fast. Andrew does the same thing. Do you guys know what it is? Any guesses? They hold them there for 3 months at a time.
Oh, well, we wouldn't know that.
Yeah. I guess you don't.
You would. You hang
Yeah.
out with
We spent too much time together. So,
Que no te
how
está
this works,
mirando.
nature is amazing. So it's not a joke, it's actually serious. This species, they hold in their fecal material, weighing down the back half of their body, enabling them to strike faster. They actually strike so fast with such big fangs and so much venom. Unlike a rattlesnake who bites its prey, it runs away and dies. The gaboon viper kills its prey, and then picks it up, squeezes it full of venom, and then walks it down. So,
Y el señor está
snake,
moviendo.
very potentially dangerous snake, full of venom. What do you think his number one defense is? What's that snake's number one defense? Yeah, it's hiding. It's his camouflage. He's got that pattern so that he doesn't have to interact with other animals, so he doesn't get seen. If he does get seen, what do you think his number two defense is going to be? Yeah, he will startle you off. Let's see if he'll do it. If you guys are real quiet real quick, we might be able to hear him do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He'll huff really loud. You might hear hear that? Yeah, and he'll get more violent with his hissing. He started to learn that his hissing doesn't scare us away. I don't know why this rattlesnake is crawling so fast today. He'll get more and more loud with that hissing. There we go. And that says, just like the rattlesnake, that snake doesn't have ears. It simply says, please leave me alone. Very rarely does a gaboon viper actually bite in defense. They want to save that venom to catch their prey. It's a resource. So, anyhow, guys, these are the last two snakes that we brought out today. Andrew and I, we're going to hang out here for a few more minutes, answer any questions you guys have. But I want to thank everyone for coming out to this information.